Hello, guys. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Uloma. I make lifestyle, straight talking videos, and pretty much anything that interests me. So, guys, if you're new here, thank you so much for watching this video. Please subscribe. And if you're a regular subscriber, thank you so much for watching this video. So, guys, today I have something to talk about. I just got home this evening and I just feel like talking. Um, I really do not have a title for this video, but I think I'm going to say be grounded in reality. Okay? Submit yourself and be grounded in reality. I think that's what I'm going to call this video. Um, a lot of us are always scrolling our phones. First of all, I know it's not easy to put that phone down, but put it down. Okay? Put the phone down, or at least curate what you listen to, curate your feed, because at this moment, okay, we have so many information going into our brain. First of all, we have already been programmed. Okay, the way you are is not your real self. And until you begin to search your consciousness and begin to recognize and search within yourself who you really are, there's so much distraction. You're not yourself. You're like an onion, to get to the core of the onion, which is the middle, where you can the core, which is that middle, that sweet succulent middle, you have to peel out the sides. Now, for you, those sides that you have to peel out are distractions. Distractions, which I will call programming. Programming by your parents, by your nurturers, programming by the society, programming by your religion. All these make up what you are, not who you are. Okay, because a lot of us are living the experience of our ancestors before, of our parents. A lot of us are living that experience. We are like an extension of them, because you won't blame yourself for that, especially when you're not conscious. And until you start to deconstruct and deprogram yourself, you will not live a fulfilled life. Okay, now I've gone on a tangent there. You see the things that go on social media. I've been going through viral videos, and I see that most viral videos are videos that caters to our fantasy and feed into our emotional banks. When I mean fantasy, you see people living luxury life, they are selling luxury, they're selling fantasy, and we transport ourselves into these people's life. We put ourselves into these people's shoes. We're not really watching the video, we are watching ourselves being transported. It's like we're watching ourselves in that life of luxury, which we have so desired, therefore taking us out of reality. When it comes to things like sex, love, relationships, especially when we see a relationship that tickles our fancy, that increases our dopamine and serotonin and gives us that, crazy vibe, we begin to put ourselves in scenarios, in situations. That's why you see a lot of people talk emotionally. It's because they put themselves in that situation. And this hits hard, especially when you don't have that thing, especially when you don't have love. For example, you begin to engage in a lot of these contents. You begin to surround yourself with these contents about love. And at the end of the day, you are not going to be grounded. You're not going to live in now. You're going to start living someone else's life, someone else's truth, becoming someone else instead of yourself. Now, the fantasy one, especially if you're not in the position, or you're striving to get the position where you are going to live, like the top 1%. There are 1% for a reason. Everybody cannot be top 1%. Being a top 1% for a lot of people, for the most 99% of people, is fantasy. And a lot of people strive to become that 1%, not knowing that it's their life path. They are fulfilling their life path. You live your life path and you want to go and fulfill the part of the 1%. Once you are called to maybe be a healer, or you're called to be an educator, or you're called to chase several things, but no, you're chasing money. When you try something and it doesn't work, especially when you've tried it like twice, for me, I would say it's not mine. I'll say it's not mine. There was something in my life that I kept trying at, and inside myself, my spirit self, until I got conscious, I noticed that it's not what I want to be. But I spent years and years trying to become instead of being me, instead of being myself. And that's what the shoes a lot of people are now. They spend their time and their life trying to become instead of being, instead of living their true authentic self. So right now, put down that phone, okay? Put it down. You're not poor. You're not poor. You scroll on social media too much. You feed your brain with this fantasy that your brain is like a very triggered sensitive wire. When it begins to search for these things, and a little sniff of it, whoo, you're filled with that high because that's what you've trained yourself to be. That's what you've trained your brain to be. You are not living your authentic self. You have to get grounded. You have to live in the now. I'm sure that the man who had a tiny shack with a wife and with children, living on a farm or even a small farm, was very content with life. You know why? Because he didn't see how other people lived. So he was content. I believe that people who live in simpler times were not fulfilled and contented with life. A lot of people are not fulfilled. A lot of people are not contented. That's why they have a lot of mental illness, depression, anxiety, all because they think the grass is greener on someone else's lawn. They forget that they are supposed to be grounded and live completely in their reality because life goes by like this, and it's a shame if you spend that life trying to become someone else rather than spending that life trying to be you. Break the chains, cut the cords from the conditioning by your ancestors before, from the conditioning by your religion, from the conditioning by your society, from the conditioning by the media. Search for your true authentic self. And when you find it, you find out that there is nothing to struggle with in life. You have no choice but to be happy in the place where you are. And if a lot of people begin to think like this and look within self instead of outside self, I tell you, the rate at which mental illnesses people have will disappear. It's like this. I'm not saying that there are people are not neurodivergent, who do not have chemical imbalances in their brain. But I tell you, a lot of people who are unfulfilled, who have anxiety, who have depression, who are not contented, it's because they always want more and they think the grass is greener in the other part. Some people are striving to be called 1%. They are 1% for a reason. Okay? They're the top 1% for a reason. It's because it's their life path. It's their path. That's where they are meant to be. Go and look for yours and begin to be happy again in life. I'm not saying you should not aspire to have. It's good to have nice things. I always say that. But do not let that become you. Do not let that become your entire personality. Do not let that become your entire personality. It's a shame if you let that happen. Be you. You're not poor. You scroll too much on social media. Get off social media. Look for things that are geared towards advancement of self, knowing of self, coming into consciousness, knowing who you are. Instead of looking for validation through the external, you're looking for something external to teach you who you are and who you're supposed to be. That's the reason I have a problem with mainstream religion. They ask you to look up to somebody higher, to be in perpetual servitude for that person, to show you mercy. You see yourself through somebody instead of looking inside of you and see yourself for who you actually are. Who you actually are. Who are you? Tell me, who are you? I want you to answer this question today and tell me, who are you? Who do you think you are? We have been so indoctrinated that we have been so indoctrinated um, by the society that it takes a lot of conscious effort to become yourself. But firstly, you have to start with the question of who you are. You have to start. And before you get that answer, you have to look into being. And looking into being, unfortunately, you have to stay away from things that are stimulating you. You have to do a lot of work. You have to stay away from social media. You have to stay away from, you know, religion that is outside of self. You have to stay away from, you know, listening to people. Okay, I know it's hard. It's hard to not want to conform to the society. But when you build your lane, you will form your own society. Okay? You will form your own group and people will be a part of you. Because I'm sure there are a lot of people who are in the same lane, who are in the same tribe. You find your own tribes people. But you have to be authentic to yourself first. You have to be authentic to yourself. So who are you? Who are you? I've been thinking, you know why scam sells? Why a lot of people fall into all these schemes or these MLM schemes. There's one in my country called MMM. It's like a pyramid scheme. You pay money, someone gives. I don't even know how that thing works because I've never fallen. I realized that people are blinded, okay, by the fantasy of what they are likely to get, that they forget to research and do the work. They go into fantasy mode instantly because they have been programmed like that. Everyone is programmed to seek to become the top 1%, to become rich, to have, because they see how the rich are, their egos are always being robbed, but the rich have their own demons, and I'm going to talk about that here. You see, so many rich people are not also happy. I'm going to talk about the reasons why here, but this is not on this video. All I want to say in this video is everything is all a lie. It's all cheap fantasy they try to sell you for, so that you will not be grounded in this reality. Your dopamine, serotonin receptors are always charged, especially when you feed yourself with these lies. They are only trying to take you away from the moment and leave someone else's dream, someone else's fantasy. You have to stay grounded in reality. You have to stay grounded in reality for you to live a profound life. Do other things like gardening. Read a book. People who invented reading, they're up to something there, because reading takes you out of your brain, of your head, which a lot of people always are, which we always are, and go into somebody's head for a change. Read, pick up writing, pick up a new hobby. You will learn to play the guitar. But stay away from your phone. Stay away from social media, especially those ones that are curated to spike your dopamine and serotonin. Stay away from them. If not, you're going to keep chasing. You're going to keep chasing, forgetting to actually live, because living in the moment is actually living life. When you say, I live life, have you just heard the word life? Live life. Be here now, 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 now. Not be in your head and projecting to the future that most of the time you will never get. You keep chasing, you will never get. And when you live in the now and you open up yourself and you come into self, I tell you, things are going to take shape. You will not worry about your finances. You'll be contented. You will not worry about about life in itself. You will not have anxiety, you will not have depression. The reason why there's a rise in depression and anxiety is because people are not contented. People are living or wanting to live another person's life instead of their own. I'm not going to be here to invalidate people who are neurodivergent or people who have chemical imbalances in their brain. But I tell you, a lot of people, more than half of the population of people are depressed and have anxiety because they're not contented. And not contented leads to unfulfillment. I'll see you guys tomorrow. We're going to talk about self-esteem and how self-esteem can project you into the life you are supposed to live. And I'm going to talk about the different kind of esteem, give you examples of how they affect you, and the perfect esteem to build. All right, I'll see you guys when I start post. Bye. Bye bye.